When we look at adjectives in Japanese, it's important to remember that there are always two kinds of adjectives, and all adjectives can be sorted one of two ways. Primarily when we start Japanese, we deal with E adjectives. You know it's an E adjective because you see an actual E at the end of the word. And it's important to remember that this does not mean an E kind of sound, like, for example, suteki. いいですね. Suteki isn't an E adjective because we can't see an E at the end there. The other kind of adjective is a na adjective. And really, it's a na adjective if it doesn't end in an E. That's the easiest way to do it. So if you look at the end of a word and you see the last character and you don't see an E there, it's a na adjective. But there are 4 na adjectives that look like E adjectives. And they are kirai, kirei, yume, and tokui. I dislike pretty, clean, famous, talented people. The key to remember about na adjectives is they are never touched. They never alter. You never ever drop sounds or change sounds in a na adjective. So I recommend that when you see a na adjective, you mentally lock it in by just doing that, and that reminds you never to touch it. E adjectives will change for you depending on whether you want to say it is or it isn't or it was or it wasn't. And with E, the biggest thing is, E adjectives, the biggest thing is that last E is always dropped when you want to change the meaning. So to go from sugoi desu to sugokunai desu, we drop that E and add kunai. Don't forget the desu. For was, you're dropping the E and adding kata. Don't forget the desu. And it wasn't kunakata. And again, see that desu is still there. The only kind of odd E adjective that we have is the actual adjective good. And I used to remember it's good that we only have one weird E adjective. So it's E desu when it is, but when it goes into isn't or was or wasn't, it goes from E to yo. Dakara yokunai, yokata, yokunakata. For na adjectives, as we said, you never touch them. So the thing that does all the changing is going to be our desu. Dakara yume desu, yume janai desu, for it isn't. Yume deshita, it was, and yume janakata, that whole ending goes up there. Janakata desu, for it was not. When you're putting E and na adjectives in, you can also join them just like we joined verbs. And we know to join verbs we use te form, and in adjectives we have the same thing. So we drop the E again and add kute, and kute allows us to go out and grab something else that you're going to add on to it. We don't care what you add on to it. You can add a sentence, you can add another adjective, it doesn't matter. For yume, again, we've talked about the fact that it's locked in. So it's a day that we add on, and that allows us to make the meaning of and. Dakara yume desu, sugoi desu, it's famous and great. But we call it a na adjective, and I always get asked, when do we use that na? And we use that na when we put the adjective right next to the word it's talking about. So here's Lady Gaga. And if we want to say it's famous Gaga, yume na Gaga desu. But if we want to say Lady Gaga is famous, Gaga wa yume desu. In other words, we only ever see the na when the adjective is right in front of the word it's talking about, the word it's describing. Do we do this with E adjectives? No. We just put the E adjective, sugoi, gaga, desu, or gaga wa sugoi desu, and we're done.